I want to start this guide right with the basics, and then as the video goes on, I'll show you some more complex tips. The best place to start though is with the portal itself. In Minecraft you can create pretty huge portals now, but they have to be either square or rectangular. The maximum size you can create a portal is 23 by 23 blocks. However, if you really want to make a huge portal, you can place multiple portals next to each other. There will be this ugly bar of obsidian that goes through the center though, but I'll show you how to cover that up later if you really want to make a giant portal. Whenever you create a Nether portal design, it's always best to build the actual portal first, and then build around it. That way it serves as a good reference point and foundation for the rest of the design. Don't forget when building a portal that you don't need to include the 4 corner blocks. These can sometimes get in the way when making a really cool design. Even though the portal has to be square or rectangular, there are ways to make it look more shaped. Once you've built your portal, you should almost always surround it by a different block. By just covering up the obsidian, you already make the portal look much more unique. To make the portal look more embedded, you can then add a couple of blocks in front of the portal and behind it, especially using stairs or slabs to frame it. You can connect them in cool ways to make the portal look really embedded into the build. Try not to add too many blocks though, as it might end up taking away from the portal itself. The animation of the portal block is highly detailed and looks really cool, so you should always let it be the star of the design. The build around it should just complement it, unless you're using the portal as decoration for a room or want it to look more abandoned and overgrown. You can also use this technique to make it look like the portal is a different shape, like a circle or triangle. Just build the portal behind and then build a hole in whatever shape you want in front of it. You can even outline it in obsidian to make it look like a fake portal's edge. While I was messing around with this, I created quite a few shapes which all look much more cool than a regular Nether portal. Another way to frame your portal would be to add more blocks hanging down in front of it, like chains or vines. These can help make it look a lot more integrated into a build, and help to add a lot of depth. This design is a great example. It's meant to look like Doctor Strange's portal, and so I used frog lights and shroom lights to hide the obsidian, and then layered candles and glass panes on the front to shape the portal more, imitating the magical fire effect that his portals have. As I touched on before, portals don't need to be functional. They can just be used as decoration. The most common place to find this is with interiors. If you're using a portal as decoration, then I would always recommend covering it up as much as possible, with blocks that stop players from entering it, so that it's clear that it's just there as decoration. If you leave it too open, it might just look like a Nether portal that people are meant to enter, rather than a theming piece. This is the one exception to my rule of having the portal be the star of the design, as you instead want it to blend in well with whatever room it's located in, like with this magical dungeon design that I created. Another interior example would be this enchanting area. I love to incorporate portals into these kind of rooms as it gives it so much ambience. You can see that I've used lots of stairs and slabs to block the portal off and frame it into the wall. You can obviously incorporate a portal though into any room. If you want your portal to actually be functional, there are a couple of design types that it should fall into, which I've just made up now. I'll go into each in a bit more detail for you. Now, a terrain portal is what I would call any portal that's built into the terrain. This is probably the easiest type of portal to make in survival, and the quickest to make as well. You can either build these into your existing terrain, or you can create your own terrain around the portal. Creating your own terrain is a lot more complex to do, but often ends up looking a lot better. If you remember what I was saying before about shaping your portal, these are probably the best portals to shape, as you can easily hide a lot of the Nether portal inside of your terrain. The best shape to go with for one of these portals, in my opinion, is a circle, as it looks a lot more natural than sharper shapes like squares or rectangles. I want to avoid giving a tutorial on terraforming. Instead, I want to try to stick to the portal part of the build. However, there are lots of blocks and plants that you can use around your portal to make it blend into the area more. One of the best blocks you can add is water. This could be a small lake in front of the portal with stepping stones leading up to it, or a waterfall going down the side of or in front of the portal. Seeing as water also has an animated texture, it helps to add more kinetic energy to the area, which is always good to liven up a build. You can also add vines going down the front of your portal to make it look more aged. I actually personally like to avoid using vines though, and instead make fake vines using leaves. To do this, just create lines with a slight dip in the middle to make it look like they're hanging down. Another great piece of life that you can add is trees. Building custom trees next to the portal, which are quite small in size, can be a great way to make the portal itself look bigger. Or you could make bigger trees than usual to make the portal look smaller, if you're trying to make a more hidden away portal. Some quick mentions as well are that mushroom blocks are a great way to add some color contrast to your terrain and the portal. If you build them in small flat clusters coming out of the terrain, they look like they're overgrowing. Another way to add color contrast would be through incorporating ores into your terrain. Sometimes it's better to have a cool looking nether portal than it is to have diamond armor. A more common ore that you can use though is lapis, as the blue goes perfectly with the purple of the portal. Just simply mix the ores in with the stone in small clusters like you'd find underground. Here's a really over the top design that I created, incorporating as many different techniques as I could with blocks to use and colors. Obviously you wouldn't want to make something this busy looking, but you can take inspiration from different parts of it to apply to your own portal designs. Now with larger terrain, you can create some huge portals which look insane. You will need to link multiple portals together to build one of these though. When building the portals, try to be strategic with the placement of each, keeping the lines that join them all symmetrical. You can do this by starting with a square portal in the center and then building out portals around it, keeping them to the maximum size possible. Once you have all of your portals in place, you can cover up the obsidian that goes in between each, using purple glazed terracotta or purple wool, which looks similar to the portal texture from far away. Or you can try to use a different block that you can incorporate into your design, for example using cauldrons to look like pipes that run between each portal. Or if you really want to, you could use more natural blocks to blend it into your landscape, like stone, or you could have water or lava falls running in front of the obsidian. One last tip for nature portals, which you can also apply to other types of portals but it is easiest here, is to mine out the area behind the portal and create a fake nether. You can replace all of the stone inside with netherrack and add some lava hanging down the sides and maybe a small nether fortress inside too. Now when you're looking through your portal, you'll be able to see that nether design through it, making it look like you're looking right into the nether. This is especially cool to look at nighttime. Obviously this is quite a large scale example of it, you can get the idea. You can also play around with this concept though and create different dimensions on the inside. People will still teleport to the nether, but you could build up a fake space dimension behind the portal for a more sci-fi feel, or any other kind of dimension like a mango dimension if you really want to. A couple of nature portal designs I also wanted to quickly show you would be this geode design, which you can build quite easily if you come across amethyst clusters. This looks especially good in caves. I also made this tree design where it looks like the portal is built inside of the tree stump. You can of course make a smaller version of this design though, it doesn't need to be huge. Anyway, let's move on now to the next type of portal. So a structure portal is basically just what I call any portal that's incorporated into a building. This could be as small as a regular portal that's just built into an archway, or a huge portal that's built into the side of a castle. These are probably the most common type of portal. There isn't really too much to say about designing one of these, as it's a very broad category. You could just build anything and stick a portal in it. I will give some basic pieces of advice though, which could be used in most structure portals. Also, I have no clue what's wrong with this llama. Whenever I build one of these portals, I like to treat it like the portal is a door to enter a building, but instead of a door, there's obviously a portal. What I'm basically saying is to try and build a structure around it like an entranceway. There could either be one main portal at the front, or you could create a more symmetrical square design which has a portal on either side. To show off what this could look like, I created this small gothic portal design where you can enter it from any side. As well as this, elevation is key. I'd always recommend having your portal be placed slightly above the ground, with a staircase that leads up to it. This just helps to add a bit more height to the build and makes it look a lot more grand. You could even take this a step further and create a huge portal with a giant staircase up to it, like this build. Something like this would definitely impress your friends. When building your structure, it's very important to think about the palette that you're using. Try to use colours that will complement the portal. Ideally stick to darker blocks like deep slate, black stone or stone bricks, but you can obviously try building with brighter palettes if you want to, but it will be a lot harder to make it look good. I don't really know what else to say about structure portals, as there really isn't much I can tell you without giving you general building advice. And like I mentioned before, I want to avoid doing that. One last thing I can say though is don't feel like you need to put the portal right out the front of your build. You can create buildings with a bit of interior like a grand hallway to put the portal at the end of. This can help to create atmosphere before you even enter it, especially if you line the hallway with plants and campfires to look like fire pits. On top of this, don't forget to decorate the area around your portal. Adding a couple of plants around the building will go a very long way, and you can even add a nice pathway that leads up to it. Anyway, that's pretty much everything, but I'll quickly touch on the final portal type. If you're not aware, organics are basically just buildings in Minecraft that are made to look like objects. For example, giant statues. A lot of the more iconic Nether Portal designs you might have seen online are organic portals, like the Sword Nether Portal that everyone has made their own version of by now. But here's my take on it. I can't really give any general advice on these, as it really is just building an organic and finding somewhere to fit the portal into the build, but I felt like I should mention them anyway. With that being said, I want to soon make another video where I just make an absolutely huge amount of small Nether Portal designs, and show you them all so you can get even more inspiration. For every 1000 likes this video gets, I'll build 10 more unique portal designs in that video. This is my first advice video that I've ever made, so I'm sorry if it's hard to follow or lacked anywhere. But to make up for that, I'll be checking every comment and responding to any further questions that anyone has about Nether Portals. So if you have a question, please do let me know below. If you have any ideas of other tips and tricks videos I could make, please do also let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.